So of the 2 million farms across the U.S., 98% of those are what are called family farms. Emily, you just gave us that little fun fact. First off, let's talk about what a family farm is. Then we'll have a conversation about how broadband plays into making those things vital.
Thank you. So when we talk about family farms, we're talking about multi-generational farm families. So farms that have been around for multiple generations.
And that is something that's near and dear to your heart because you said you came from a multi-generational farm.
Yes, I came from a fourth-generation farm, and my brother and dad currently continue that operation with soybean, corn, hogs, and cattle.
And one of the things you mentioned is that the technology really plays a big part, and there's even a little bit of a divide, it sounded like, between your dad and your, and your.
Yes, new technologies are coming out every day that make it easier to farm, if you will, using less inputs, saving time, making more money. So connectivity is extremely important as these new technologies come on the scene because they rely on a connection.
And so from your vantage point, looking out at the broadband providers that are here, mostly serving rural areas, what recommendations do you give for them to help their communities?
Well, the American Farm Bureau, our members are 50 state farm bureaus and a farm bureau in Puerto Rico. We are present in 2,800 counties across the country. So my advice would be reach out to your farm families in the community. Reach out to a farm bureau, state farm bureau or county farm bureau. Have a conversation about what their needs are, what they lack, what they have, what's to come.
It sounds like working with them in conjunction with what the state broadband offices will be a big help in terms of BEAD and so forth.
Absolutely. And we have encouraged our state farm bureaus to get into those broadband offices, to have those conversations, to share their stories, provide perspective. And that might even mean going to the broadband office itself or taking a member of the broadband office team to a farm to show them the operation.
Well, and it sounds like that's an opportunity for the rural broadband providers to hook in there as well.
Absolutely. And our farm bureaus are very community oriented. They are not afraid to have conversations with other community oriented organizations. So it's certainly a good opportunity for some collaboration.
Well, and it sounded like some of those, like Future Farmers of America, are really good ones to tie all this together.
Absolutely. Longstanding ag organizations are always a good place to start, especially if you're wanting to look into more youthful organizations. The FFA organization is obviously full of potential. American Farm Bureau, we have a young farmer and rancher program, which highlights the needs of farmers 18 to 35, and they're also a good resource.
Excellent. Well, the cool thing about this organization is, as we saw with Jill, a lot of them actually are ranchers and farmers.
Absolutely. I think that anyone that comes from a rural community generally has some sort of tie to a farm or a ranch, or has a neighbor that might be actively farming or ranching. So it's community.
From a technology perspective, what is the biggest challenge they face today?
It's two things: actually having access to the broadband, the connectivity that they need, and then just being able to adopt those new technologies. Like I mentioned, precision ag technologies can be cost prohibitive, and it's important that folks are able to afford those.
Yeah, I guess we heard that from one of the members of the audience. She's running kind of an older generation tractor, right?
Absolutely. And obviously, if something isn't going to lead to profitability, time efficiency, folks are going to be a little less likely to adopt it.
Yeah, and it sounds like the days of fixing it yourself are gone, too.
Yes. Years ago, you could have a wrench and fix the tractor, but now most things contain a computer, so it's a little bit more complicated than it used to be.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the way things are in everywhere, urban, rural. So
absolutely.
Thank you, Emily.
Well, thank you.